Hi guys, how are y'all today? I will have to say I am tired. I forgot how exhausting it was to teach in person. I've gotten used to this virtual stuff. Not a good thing to get used to, I guess. Hey Tina, how are you? I hope you're feeling better. I wish I had great things for you today, Sherry. Y'all didn't send in a lot of questions for me today. Hi Terry, good to see you today. I do have one question, and I'll start out with it. It's how to find the solid motif stitches. Hey, Anita, good to see you. Hi, Dory. But yeah, I will tell you, I am tired, and you can hear that my voice is tired. That many classes in that many days, although it was a blast, and I think the ladies had a good time, as did the gentlemen. So it was a good time was had by all, but wow, I just forgot how exhausting it was. But it was fun. It was a good time. So it was good to see people in person finally again. So I will have to say that was kind of a much needed activity. So okay, guys, let's start today.
Is there something
Wait a
else you
minute,
can help
Siri's
with?
talking to me.
I'm not sure I understand.
Um, all right, sorry, Siri was talking to me. So let's see here. How do you find the different motifs in PE design? That's where I'm going to start out with because that's the main question I had. We're going to make us a shape here and I'm going to fill it. Normally it's filled in automatically, but I was playing in here with something else that I have for you to play with today. From your stitch type selection menu, you choose motif stitch, guys. And to find those solid motifs, you touch where it says either the pattern or the file folder. You can click either one. I usually click the big target. And here you'll find the motifs that are built in. They'll be numbered motif 001. You can see I've played with some up here, but the solid ones that you're looking for, this will be a solid fill all the way across the item. And the solid scallop looking one is down here. So that's where you'll find the two, the solid ones that you'll find. Who doesn't understand? I'm sorry, Deborah, you've lost me on that one. But those are where the solid motifs are located. All right, so now that I've taken care of my one question here, we'll go on from there. Remember, guys, I did ask you to send me questions this week, but I didn't see a lot of those. Okay, guys, let me do file new so you don't see what we've got there. We're not going to save that. I was looking in here and was playing around and located a file that I thought you guys might be interested. So these Moroccan tile stickers are what I picked up. And I thought, guys, these would be great quilting designs. So if you pick those Moroccan tile stickers up, this one goes down here, just so you know which part goes with what. So I lined them up to where they were supposed to be. And I'm going to go ahead and select each of those. And we're going to go to our edit tab and we're going to horizontal center and vertical center. Do the same thing for the bottom one, horizontal center, vertical center. So now everything's lined up. We don't necessarily need those outside squares. So I'm going to go into my layers menu and delete those guys. So I'm going to come grab the squares, each of the squares in the layers menu, and just press delete on my keyboard to get rid of the squares. Okay, so now I'm going to export that. We're going to go File, Export Transfer, FCM, and we're just going to export the file. And I called those tiles, so I'll call them tiles 2 right now. And let's save those guys. Now I went into my P design. If you have Power Pack 1, you can do this in BES4 as well. We're going to start with P design first, go up to our Scan and Cut tab and choose Import. And scroll down here to where we see our tiles. Let's see here, there's my tiles 2. I imported them. You'll notice they're on my design page here, and they're grouped together as a unit. So both are grouped, and I don't want both of them. Let's go with the bottom one for right now. So I'm going to right mouse click. I got to get on a stitch here. Right mouse click and ungroup. And then I'm going to select the top part, and I'm just going to delete it. We can bring it in later if we want it. I'm going to select all this, Control M to move it to the middle. So we can hold the shift key down and pull it out. There we go. Now, what did I think we could do with this? Well, you can turn fills in if you want to, but I think what would be really nice for this one would be simply just to put a triple stitch on it and have your run pitch be at 3, and you have a nice red work quilting stitch. Simply, very easily done. So what do you like about that one? I think that one's kind of a quick and easy, ready to get going out the box. So I'm looking up here. I see some questions had rolled in. So Sandra, yeah, the split hoop function in P Design, making an 18 by 18 pillow cover, that would be how you would do that if you want to do that. So what it is, it's called custom hoop. If you were wanting to make this an 18 by 18, you would go into your design selection menu down here where it says custom size, change your section size for hoop, and you would choose your largest frame, which is the 262 by 398. You'll notice 272 by 408 is next to that. That's the 10 5/8 by 16-inch hoop. Scroll up till you get 2 across. And if you go past it, no big deal. You can back it down. So once I go past it, I'll back down. So that gives me about 20 inches across. I'm going to back down. So 514 millimeters. And I do this in metric simply because you get all of your hoop space and not just part of it, just so you know. Scroll up till you get 2 full hoops, although you won't need 2 full hoops for 18 by 18. This gives you those 2 full hoops. And then resize your design to fit that size. So if I choose size, and on this part, I'm going to go with inches. So you wanted 18 by 18. We can come in here and put a dot in front of the width, and let's just change it to 18 inches. It will maintain the aspect ratio. So if you click that, click OK, and you can actually change where it splits, especially in P Design 11. P Design 11, this is a new little key, hoop settings up here. When you use a custom size hoop, you can move your section. So you can move where you actually want it to split. This little item right here lets you adjust where the split is, as does this. So if you wanted to change your split, you can change it. Let's look at it and select. I don't know what happened. My screen just went away and it stopped flickering, and we're flickering again today. Weird. Okay, I'm going to try this again. This one we don't necessarily want to move, just simply because we want to keep those squares where they are. Let's go back to our home tab and let's move this design up. If you don't want it to split right smack dab in the middle, you can actually, if I can get my cursor to like me, move the design up to where it doesn't split in the middle, so you don't see that split smack dab in the middle of your design, because it will give you somewhat of an overlap. But that would be how you would get your 18 by 18 inch design. All right, let me go back to a normal hoop size. Cindy, I'm on P Design 11. The Import tab is on PE Design 10. So let's see here. Deborah, I haven't seen it switch back to the old way and coming back to the new way. So I'm not sure what you're saying. The desktop version works differently than the online version. So that might be what you're experiencing. You may be working on the web-based version instead. If you go to www Canvas Workspace, you're going to be working on the web-based version. If you're working on the desktop one, you clicked on the icon on the desktop. The desktop, you'll see the layers and the side toolbar. On the web version, you don't see that. All right, let's see here. Lois, you were in BES4 and you wanted to make your rectangle for a specific size. Yes, you would want to go in a continuous line if you want it to continuously sew around. Otherwise, you're not going to have control over that. If you want a single stitch for quilting, Sandra, all you have to do is choose a running stitch. Let me show you where that one is. So let me resize this, and let's change the size back to 6 inches. Control M will move it back to the middle. I'm just a little bit too big. I would still want my stitch to be a little bit longer, so I would keep the run pitch at 3 millimeters. So I'm going to go back to millimeters. Run stitch. Your default run stitch is 1 time, so that would go around 1 time, but I would still want my stitch length to be just a little bit longer so that it wouldn't be so tight, okay? Let's see here. What have we got? All right, if you want to see the PE Design 11.exp file, I understand. If you go to your option pull down menu and choose your design database, it's going to bring up the design database for you. The design database lets you view the different formats. So this is a DST, same idea as the EXP. And if you want to use that design, you can simply double click on it, and it will basically, if you've got something else open, it's simply going to import it on top of it. If you don't have something else open, it will open up a whole new window. So let me delete this and close this part of the program down so you can see what I mean. So I have no PE Design open besides my design database. When I double click on it, it will open up a whole new window of PE Design with that file on it. It will say Untitled on it. It imports EXPs. It opens PES files. So anything besides PES will be imported onto whatever you have on there. Okay. I can't imagine why it's not, as long as you have a large enough size hoop for it to be. If you need a bigger hoop, you'll have to be done in multiple sections, but it would be simply drawing a circle and deciding how you want it to stitch. So I would certainly think that's possible. Let's see here. That's interesting. So every manufacturer has multiple formats that they can read. Our brother machines, whatever I'm trying to say, read DST and PES files as well as our PHX files, and the older ones PHC. So our alternate format is DST. Bernina's is EXP. All right, did I miss any questions there? Okay, so let's go into BES4 and do the same thing. So here's my BES4. I don't have split hoop functionality here, guys. So We can't do everything that we just did, but we can import those tiles that we just did. I have all PowerPoint packs, so mine says import artwork. Yours may only say import FCM. We're going to go down and find my tiles. I went too far. There they are. Let's open those guys up and ungroup. So now I'm going to delete those. Actually, let's delete this one. In BES4, let's put us a hoop on here. Select hoop, and let's choose the, I had the 6x6 on, which was 150 by 150. You could do the 8x8. You can pick whatever you want. I'm going to do select hoop and fit to hoop so that it fits to my hoop. And now let's select all items again. On your Tools tab, if you have Power Pack 1, you can simply press the Convert to Run key. It has a single run. The style is none. If you want a single run, if you want a triple stitch, it is called a bean stitch. If you want a heavy triple stitch, you can change it to 5. If you want a light, you can change it to 3. You'll notice the stitch length is automatically 3 millimeters in BES4. And if you want to see what it looks like, if you touch 3D draw, it's there. I might go ahead and do hoop, fit hoop, just to make sure it's staying within, and it is, even though I converted it to runs. Let's go ahead and touch all items again. Now, if I did not have Power Pack 1, can I do this? I'm going to back all the way up back to the FCM file. I'm going to shrink this in a little bit for now, because this next one's going to take up more space than the hoop can handle. On your Tools tab, you have Convert to Applique. If I convert the whole design to Applique, I can change my stitch length of my tack down. Let's see here, my placement stitch. That's all I want. All right, so everything's there. What I can do is right mouse click and choose Preserve as Stitches. And what that does is it turns everything into stitches. You can then delete your covering stitches and go down to the base stitches. It gives you the same kind of look, just not as probably precise as the other one, but you could, it's still doable. It's just not as controllable. Okay, so let's see here. Is there a way to open with more than one recent? So if you go to your welcome screen, open recently used. Evidently not. You can evidently only grab one that was recently done. That's weird. I've never paid attention to that. And evidently it doesn't. That's weird. No. So evidently, Cindy, no. I would love to tell you yes, but evidently no. Okay. Let's see here. What else have we got? All right, guys. No other questions are popping up for me today? Come on, you guys got to have more than that for me. All right. Well, let's go back and let's play a little bit more. Cindy's Playhouse may be the better option for us, although that does sound like a strip joint. So I don't know if that's a great one or not. Let's go back up to that same file and import it. So let's see what else we can do with that file. All right, I'm going to ungroup it. And this time let's play with the top one, not the bottom one. So let's select all, Control A and Control M to move it to the middle. I'm going to turn on a fill stitch for everything. So if I come up here and I change it from not sewn to a fill stitch, everything gets a fill stitch and it's all the same color. let's look at it in a stitch view so you can see. You'll notice that I have colors stacked on top of colors. That's not what I want to have happen. The first thing that I need to do is start setting my holes. So I'm going to grab the center and I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom and grab this piece right here. That's the main part. Click on my select patterns icon, go to my home tab, modify overlap, and set hole sewing. You'll notice that now I don't have double stitching under that area, and you can see the cutout has been applied. Now we're going to grab the center part of that, because if we change the color of that, you'll notice that the blue is still peeking underneath there. So if I want to change that, let's put it in a different color so you can see it. I'm going to go up to the very beginning where that little center piece is and select it. Click on my select patterns icon, go to the home tab, modify overlap, set hole sewing. So now if we look at that really close, you'll notice that there's no stitching underneath the yellow, which is optimal. And you can see in your sewing order window that a hole has been applied. So the last part's pretty easy. We're going to grab all of these other little parts that have, you can see the double stitching when you're in stitch view instead of realistic view. To my main outside, click on the select patterns icon, modify overlap, set hole sewing. Now we can come and take these pieces, all of the center parts, and let's take them and turn them off. So I've got them selected. We're going to click the select patterns icons, shapes, not sewn. I would take my outline stitch and have it run at the very end just so that it's going to be a nice little outline stitch. You can change it from a running stitch to a triple stitch. If you have a run stitch, you might want it to go more than one time around, but that does give you some other options to play with. So you kind of have a quilt. It's not really a quilting design, but it's a quilting design. You wouldn't quilt your quilt with this, but it can be a quilting block. All right, let's look and see here. Now, there are not issues with the way it stitches out. What you're going to notice is that when you have a DST design, it's going to be in your blue tones because it just assigns a color number to it. It doesn't actually have it doesn't hold the PES color information. So that's what you'll notice with the DST. All right, how about doing a football helmet with a face guard? And in the area of the helmet, use an applique. I'm not real sure exactly what we're talking about. So I think I have an idea of what you want, but I got to find a football helmet shape. Patty, that one's pretty funny. That one's pretty good. So you're wanting to know how to make your text conform to the shape. That's a BES item, okay? But I don't think I have, that's a BES Power Pack 2 thing that will work, but I don't think I have a helmet. Canvas has helmets. Thank you. Let's see if I can find my Canvas workspace here. So let's go into our projects and see what we've got. That didn't bring up what we thought it would, so let's cancel that search and just kind of scroll down through here. Why don't I work on that one for next week? But I'm looking to see if I see anything fast. If y'all see the helmet before I do, let me know what the title of it is. I'm looking. I can make it conform to a pumpkin, but I don't see a helmet. just not seeing one here, gang. I'm looking. Y'all seeing one that I haven't found? I don't see a helmet. All right, you want to try my art skills? We'll see what I can draw. Let's see here. Artwork. Let's just do my line drawing tool. We won't, this is not going to be perfection. I'm guaranteeing you that. Let's close our shape. All right. All right, let me edit my shape because that's pretty sad looking, but we can smooth things out a little bit here. Let's see here. Smooth. Smooth. Y'all noticed I did this with a line drawing tool instead of the curved line drawing tool. It might have been easier to do it with the curved line, but there we go. All right. That's about the saddest looking helmet ever, but it will work for today's purposes. Okay. All right, let's see here. So you want me to conform artwork to it. So let's come in here with our normal text tool, and you have to have Power Pack 2 for this one to work. And I'm not promising I can make it work with that. So here we go. I'm going to change my style to artwork. And I can say font category, all artwork cut fonts. So if I apply that, it will give me only artwork fonts to play with. So let's see what we've got. I kind of like that one. Now let's see here. Let's fix a little bit and move this over. All right, so now we've got this and this. It needs to fit in it. You're really going to make my brain think today here. Let's break apart text. Ooh, undo. And let's group that together and group that together. I'm having to think about how to do this the best, so give me a second here. It would be knockout. Okay, so I'm not going to do the exact thing that you want, I don't think, because truly this software is neither, we don't have that particular function in here, but I think I have something that would work for you. So we can take our football in here. Not our football, but our helmet. Let's make that solid, and let's change its color to something else. Not exactly what you want, I know, but I think this is something that would be kind of cool. On your Arrange tab, transform artwork, and let's choose knockout. Ooh, yeah, we're close. Okay, so I am close to what I want. Let's bring this forward. Move last. Now let's see here. Transform artwork, knockout. My helmet has to be in there a little bit better. So that knocks the helmet out of it, but it's kind of hard to tell with that one. Let's change our color to brown, maybe. Okay, so we're close. We're in the ball game. I understand what we want, what I'm trying to do here. So let's go and make our text a little bit bigger. Ball. Let's just do football. I want this in closer. Now I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to break up my text. I'm going to grab it all and I am going to make a offset of it. So I'm going to choose create offset. I'm going to make it go around the outside and I'm going to remove the selection that's there so that I can, oops, I want outsides and insides. So football, offset, create offset, you want outsides and insides. And we want it to go to the inside because I want it to be wider and I'm going to give it a millimeter. We're going to go ahead and click OK. And so you'll notice how, why didn't it give me my center of my A? It made it bigger. So let's try, because there's no center there. Okay, but we'll make us a center. So let's go ahead and redo that. We'll just draw us a center in the center of our A here. So let me zoom in. And let's draw us the center of our A. So let's go Array, Tools, Artwork. Let's close that shape. And I'm going to combine it with this guy right here. So let's see here, Arrange, Combine. So now that is one unit. But what I've done is I've made this a bit smaller or a bit larger than what we originally have. So let's put a solid in it and let's change its color to green. All right. Oh, I lost my helmet. Crap. Okay, let's cut this. And let's undo till I get my helmet back because I don't want to have to draw that again. Paste. Where there's a will, there's a way. Undo is a girl's best friend. Now let's change our football, our helmet to this, and let's make our football bigger. And send this to the back. Move first. Now you should be able to see the shape of our football helmet knocked into this. Transform, knockout. There you go. So now you've got a football helmet in there. So yeah, I could rotate and I could stretch the letters. There's a bunch of different ways you could play with that. If your letters are close together and welded, that's probably a really great option because you'll notice that the less space that you have in there, the less that you'll notice it. I do not know what power packs cost. I don't do pricing at all because you never know. How many undos am I allowed? Well, usually I don't go so far that I can't get back. I will say that. I don't know that there's a limit. You just got your 325. Yes, you do need to connect it to your Lumen. Actually, no, it doesn't connect to the Luminaire. You connect it to Canvas Workspace. So once you've connected the Scan and Cut to Canvas Workspace, then you plug in the code on page 7. It's just like there's a code that comes in the box. And I think on the Luminaire, I think it's page 7 where you'll find your upgrades. You punch the code in there and then it will walk you through registering it on your Canvas workspace. So Canvas workspace now has a place. If let's go to Canvas workspace. Under account settings, so if I go to help account settings, you'll notice down here, machine registration. When you scroll down, you'll notice registered sewing machines. You'll punch in your machine number there, and it will give you a PIN code that you'll then put into your Luminaire machine so that both of them are connected at that point, and then they can speak to each other. They both got to be connected to your network to where that they can talk to each other. If you all watch Brother Sews next Tuesday is my week on Brother Sews. I'm going to be doing some stuff with the my connection portion of it for next week. That is what our plan is. So just kind of keep that in mind if you want to play with us that day. Let's see here. If we undo this, let's see what else we could do with this. We could smush it together. We could weld our letters together. Oops, I don't want that smushed. So I'm going to ungroup. Actually, all right, break apart. Now, since I broke it apart, my O's and their different parts are no longer combined. So I've got to combine those back together. Oh, it combined them all. That's not what I wanted it to do. Oh, well, I guess I needed to do that before I played today. Okay. Now, oh, I'm glad, Anita. I'm glad you got yours fixed. Great. And good to see you back. So Anita was at our event this weekend, so she's at home playing again after she left. So, all right, guys, what else do you want to do today? That's one of those. Those are one. Let's see if I can think of anything else that we can do. Okay, so if you've been cutting faux leather, you should not be using your vinyl auto blade. The light blue top is your vinyl auto blade. Faux leather is best cut with a black standard auto blade. That would be the one I would choose personally. The vinyl auto blade is the blue tip. The gold auto blade or tan auto blade is the thin cotton fabric auto blade. And the black one is what we use, your general purpose one. So it's your general purpose one. Yes, I will be covering the feature for Applique on the Luminaire on next Tuesday. Betty, you can't install the program on an iPad. You can use the web-based version on an iPad. So it's a browser version. You go Google Canvas Workspace or do an internet search, for Canvas Workspace, and then log into your account there, and you'll be able to use it on your iPad. I have no idea what their design space saves out of. If it can save out as an SVG, you can use it in BES4 and you can use it in PE Design. Importing an SVG file, you can import if you have PowerPack 2, and it's import artwork, and you'll notice SVG is one of the artwork files that you can use then. I believe that's a PowerPack 2 feature. It could be one. I'll have to double check on that one for you. In PE Design, to bring in an SVG file, import patterns from vector image. You'll notice that you have SVGs there. You can then open those up. and then you can do whatever you want to with them. So it automatically turns them into a stitch. Then you can play with them. Okay. None of them read a PNG file. So a PNG file is an artwork file. If you have to manually do something with that, whether that is auto punch or running it through Design Center or manually punching it. So if I go to my image tab, I'm a right clicker, so I right click and choose from file, but your image tab is where you have the open artwork. So if we go to file, you'll notice that these are your artwork files. If you had a PNG file, you could bring it in here. So we're going to act like this is a PNG file, and we can open it up. At that point, you could auto punch it. Some are done better than others, just so we're clear on that. When you're done, you choose what colors you want it to actually create a line, create a stitch from. I'm going to tell it I want outlines from the black, and let's see what we get. All right, turn our red back on, and let's finish it. So as I said, some are better than others. I should have turned off the white outline there. I'm going to delete that part. So our white outline's gone. This, I could probably have done a better job manually doing it, but if you're not a perfectionist, your auto punch will work. You could have also taken that into Design Center. So if I go in Design Center, now if it's a scanned image, I tell you to scan in black and white. Let's go to open up an image file. Let me go into this PC. Nope, not data. Program files, x86 and Brother. I'm using Brother artwork just so you all know. That same Apple file is there. Now I can choose that I want it to create an outline from the areas that I want it to create. So I'm going to have it create one from the white, from my different colored sections. So I've got red, I've got white, and I've got black. If it's a scanned image, that is not optimal. I don't want the white done. Preview. So it's going to take out my white spot because I don't want it around that outside edge. Let's go ahead and go OK and see what we've got. So now if I take it to figure handle, one thing I really want you all to do is pick your area. I had a customer send me a file the other day that had something standing out in La La Land. If you're cropping something, if you've got a big image with a lot of white space, go ahead and pick your area so that you can just trace around what you want, because it may throw in a stray stitch that you have a hard time finding and getting rid of. So I'm going to change the size of it down to a smaller image. I'm going to increase my thinning process and let you all see what happens. So you'll notice that it took away my double lines. If I go back, I always want to delete all this, what it did. Let's see what it does with me just saying okay. Let's make it smaller. So you'll notice how I get some double lines there, not optimal. So that's why I did the thinning process. Let's go ahead to figure handle. Let's make it smaller and let's increase that thinning process. What that thinning process does is it thins out that outline. So from there, you can come in and you can modify this design to where you make it fit what you need it to fit. We can click our select point tool. You can also view your image behind it. So if you want to view it behind it, you can come in here and view that modify image. I'm going to take those out because I don't need them. But you'll notice that it didn't give me a fill area for this part right here. So if I want it to be a fill area, I would come in and adjust it. I'm just moving my edit points. And I'm going to bring this back around here and add them just by clicking on the line. All you have to do to add a point is click on the line. And just kind of manage your work that way. The nice part about Design Center is it allows you to get a perfectly connected item. Now I want to split this line right here. I want to right mouse click and say split at point. And then I'm going to do this one right here, right mouse click and split at point, because I want this guy right here to be its own fill area. Then I'll attach these two back together. So here's my guy. I'm going to hold my Alt key down and I get a hand, and you see when it turns red, I let go. That line is now put back together. I'm going to come and grab this one, Alt key, and attach it to that one. Now this is its own little fill area. And that lets you play and manipulate things around. I don't particularly want this little line, stray line. I think that's kind of goofy. So let's come and delete these points. That takes that back down to that. But you'll just kind of come in and play with it and adapt it to what you need it to be. Okay. So once you've got that all fixed the way you want it, go ahead and go to sew settings. And obviously mine's not exactly right. I would fix that a little bit more. But then you can come in and add your fill stitches. Let's pick a different color. That'll bring up your sewing attributes, and you can come in and you can say, okay, I want you to change direction. If you go to expert mode, you have other options, but let's just go ahead and put that in. Let's pick a different color, brown, put it in here, and we can go a light brown for the top, and then a dark, I'll put an orange right there. When you're done, send it to layout and editing and import it in. And now it's an embroidery design. The nice thing about that is that hole sewing is automatically applied for it. So you did not have to set hole sewing in any way, shape, or form. It automatically cut out the hole for you. All right, let me come ask see what questions we have. If you open your file tab at the bottom of the screen, you cannot change. No, it won't change an extension. You have to actually run it through a program. You can't just change the file extension. Okay. You're so funny, Cindy. Can the blade be changed in the vinyl? Yes, it certainly can. But you have to replace it with the vinyl, with another vinyl auto blade. There are replacement blades that you can purchase. But if you want to make sure if you're replacing the vinyl auto blade, you purchase the vinyl auto blade replacement. Each of them have their own replacement. So there's a thin fabric auto blade replacement. There is a vinyl auto blade replacement. There is a rotary auto blade replacement, and there's a black standard blade auto blade replacement. Okay. So it'll say black auto blade, I believe. It'll say vinyl auto blade, and it'll say thin fabric auto blade. So that's how you actually change that. And if you all didn't know it, the spatula that comes with the machine actually has a sponge on the back of it. I wonder if I have one sitting here. Hold on. Let's see if I see one. Okay, so this guy right here, this is a sponge, and this is what you use to replace these blades. You basically unscrew the cartridge, poke the blade into the hole, into the sponge, pop it out, and then you put the new one in. But that's how you keep from cutting yourself when you're changing your blades out. just use that sponge in the back of it. So this is a multi-purpose tool. I don't use it as my spatula, but I use it to take my blades out. So just so you know that is a little trick that you can do. Okay, guys. I guess we have covered about as much as we need to today. And unless somebody else has another question that they want to know, that they're burning to know the answer for. No? No exciting things? Okay. Yeah. That is a little known tip and trick. Yeah, the 325 does not come with the rotary auto blade. It comes with a thin fabric auto blade, the black standard auto blade, and the standard mat and the fabric mat. The SDX 330D is the one that comes with the rotary blade and the low tack mat, the standard blade, and the standard mat. So they put different things in the boxes. You can purchase a rotary auto blade by itself if you can find one right now. We've got the replacement blades I've seen, but I haven't seen the rotary blade auto kits very far. Yeah, there is another option rather than using your fingers for it. So, and yes, I tell you, y'all, we need to get the ports to get moving because it's killing us. It's on one of those ships off the coast. I've seen machines come in, not a lot. Our first shipment of machines has arrived, but I have not seen rotary auto blades in a lot of stores. We didn't have any this past weekend, unless they were in that 330D that we were selling. We didn't have any. We did have the replacement cartridge, but we did not have the replacement blades, but we did not have the actual blades to sell independently. We took orders for them, but that was what we get. So if you wanted it, you get the 330D and get it fast so that you can get it. Robin, congratulations. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a fun little machine. I really do like the My Connection feature. What it unleashed on my Luminaire is just so much fun. You can certainly get the Disney vinyl auto blade kit. It comes actually, if you get the Disney one, you get Disney designs and the everyday collection. So you get two collections by just purchasing the one kit. You're getting the advanced quilt design. Yeah, the advanced quilt design software. That's a cool software, Patty. You'll like it. The rotary auto blade. Oh, have you all got a few minutes for me to dig out? I think that's downstairs. Oh, it cuts so much stuff. I've cut sweater knit. I've cut neoprene. I've cut lace. I've cut craft felt. I've cut organza, satin. It can cut so many different materials without having to treat them in any way, shape, or manner. I've cut dense wool. I've cut loosely woven wool. Things that we haven't been able to do in the past, it really does a beautiful job on. You can't purchase that online. That may be what the problem is. Disney is a purchase in person item, I believe. So just letting you know that one. Anything Disney related, I think, is a purchase in store. I'm pretty sure. I won't swear to that on a stack, but I'm pretty sure it is. If you've got, I'm pretty sure I think my sample of things that I cut is downstairs. So, and I didn't even think to bring it up today. I don't know I don't know why, but I've got a whole little sample of it. So, and I cut tons of little fall leaves. I think I'm going to make some brooches out of them because I've got all kinds of little fall leaves. I think they would make really cute little pins, just different colors of felt. And you could do pumpkins. You could do all kinds of things. It really has opened up the ability to use things that we haven't used in the past. And that's what's exciting about it. It is slower than the regular blade, but it's worth the wait, is what I will say. That's my own personal opinion. You may not love it, but I do love my rotary auto blade. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. But I'm not frustrated anymore with saying, okay, I have to back that and that can't be backed. I've cut crushed velvet. Yes, still at the 3 millimeters in depth. And if you need to cut it. Now, what's auto about the rotary auto blade, it's not the number of times it's cut, so it doesn't change its depth at all. It can change, you can change its pressure, but it's more about the changing of the angle. The angle changing is what's the auto part about it. So it will cut one angle for a little while and then it'll go up and adjust itself and it'll come back and cut another angle for a while. So that's what takes it longer, is that it has to recalibrate itself to cut the next angle. But it really does a very nice job. I did a bunch of different flowers and a bunch of different materials. Crushed velvet was one that I was like, okay, I got to see if I can do that. Just simply because you can't iron it and you can't put a backing on it. So that's really the key, is that it does let us do those things that we can't iron anything onto. Your knits, I did stretch knits, I've done metallic knits, I've done lycra. Trying to think, what else did I do? I did lace, I did tulle. It will let me fussy cut a printed tulle. So there's a lot of variety of materials that it opens the world up for. So, okay. All right, guys. Well, if there are no other questions for the day, then I guess I am going to say hasta la vista for this week. And I will see you next Tuesday. Actually, you'll see me twice next Tuesday if you watch Brother Sews. So on the Brother Sews channel, I'll be doing my connection with the new scan and cut and my design center and the different applique things that you can do. That will give you more of an idea of what you can do with the new machines, and with your luminaire. So if you have one, if not, this may bump you over the edge and say, hey, I must have a luminaire. Who knows? Yeah, that's kind of fun. Make your hippy dippy earrings. All right, guys, you all have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Hey, Cindy, post some pictures of those.